What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome back to another Leafs Nation After Dark. I'm Zack Phillips, joined here live from the World Juniors in the Fan Fest area, hence why I've got these two squids up here on screen with me, producer Vick and Nick Alberga. How's it going, gentlemen? How are you feeling today after a Maple Leafs victory against the New York Islanders?
Boys, feeling joyous. I didn't know I was doing a recap show with Drake today, so that's great.
Yeah, good to be here, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Yeah,
Year.
so what's the official rule on this, guys? Because I was watching the broadcast today. Like, why am I getting wished a Happy New Year when it's still the old year?
Because no one's gonna see you tomorrow.
Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that's
the
all it
proper
is. You
protocol
got to
is.
get it out early.
Because
And then what's
producer Vic's
what's
going to be buried in his bed tomorrow. No one's going to hear from him, see him. Now you can get it out of the way today.
I hate the people that like January 21st and it's like, oh, Happy New Year. That's the worst. I'm cool with December 31st. Happy New Year.
Yeah, there's got to be a drop dead date of like January 5th. I should mention our Super Chat charity partner this season is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and 3rd in the world. How did I do, Zach?
I think that was pretty good. I don't have any ads or anything in front of me, I don't think, so we'll figure it out. Actually, the other one that I did find and pull up as I go through the choppiest show of all time on my behalf, apologies to everyone, would be Bet365, proud partner of Leafs Nation pregame and Leafs Nation After Dark. Open account Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, all caps, NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You guys have any bets on this game today? Nick?
I had the under, which I was happy about. Let's full transparency. Okay, so Zach's been working his ass off at the World Junior because of technical situation and reasoning. Zach didn't watch the majority of the game, so that's why Vic and I are here together. I will say we just have to be transparent with it. I don't want you to be like, speak out of turn. You have no fucking clue what happened in the game.
No, not a clue.
But the other thing I wanted to bring up, like I had this whole elaborate plan for like an unmasking for producer Vic, and I know he's been on After Dark before, but like the cat is firmly out of the bag. Like Drake's been our producer for a year. So.
Yeah, no catfish in here. Speaking of bets, Nikki, I tailed that under. That was a great call on that. Just too bad. I don't know. Is the Leafs offense bad? Because
Yes.
It's not the same. It's definitely not the same. The power play's awful. But yeah, I tailed that under really quickly once I heard you call it out on Leafs Morning Take.
Hey, they went to Grindtown. I got no issue. Just initial thoughts on this game. It was pretty much your prototypical afternoon game on New Year's Eve when the thoughts of getting pinned in about 4 or 5 hours from both sides. I was thinking about the Islanders. They're going to be able to get home, have a nice dinner, and then go get pinned. Like that's the perfect start time for them. But all in all, I mean, low event hockey, probably what I expected, considering, again, as mentioned, I was at that game about a week ago when the Leafs were absolutely turfed in that game by the Islanders. It was a high event game, a lot of mistakes. I thought early on a bit of a slow start from both sides, specifically the Maple Leafs just weren't crisp. Joseph Woll kept them in. We're going to get to Woll later on. I mean, there was a moment in the second period where it's like, here we go, Groundhog Day again. But all in all, again, I thought a professional win, Vic, and I think my major takeaway, I thought they did a really, really good job of closing out this game in the third period, with exception, of course, the shorthanded breakaway via Brock Nelson there late. A very hairy moment for me.
Yeah, it was a prototypical, I think, a Craig Berube game. Like, that's what he wants to see. He wants them to close it out. He wants them to be tough checking. He wants them to be hard-nosed. And, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The penalty kill breakaway there, I don't know what Morgan Rielly was doing there. I think he was on the ice for a little too long there. But Brock Nelson, I've been watching him pretty closely since these rumors have been started to swirl about him. I mean, we've seen him twice here in the last couple of weeks, and he's been kind of invisible as well. So I don't know if I really have him on my radar as much anymore just from watching him. I don't watch much Islander hockey. I mean, they're pretty boring. But yeah, good call on that. I mean, I didn't see much danger there. Woll was great. Woll looked great. But he did have that little bit of a tweak, I think, of his groin there in the second period, which kind of gave us the fear of God. But yeah, other than that, pretty good, pretty solid outing there for Woll.
I will lie, boys. I had some nightmares while alive moments in that second period, if that made sense where I'm like getting to the point where are they about to call the San Jose Sharks about Alexander Georgiev? Like I got to that level where I'm like, I'm not like not dissecting, not recapping, not breaking down another groin issue for Joseph Woll. I just can't do it. All I'll say, full respect to him. He battled through this. He had to battle through. Like I didn't even tweet it out when it happened. You have to battle through. Life's not perfect. You're going to play with pain. You're going to live with pain. Hell, I go to the gym every day. I got a knee issue that I'm battling through. And I'm just not so much a guy who gets 3.5 sheets a year or whatever it is. So you got to play through this. Again, if it happens down the road, I'm not breaking it down. I'm not recapping it. But I won't lie, Vic, I got to a point where I started to think about Alexander Georgiev a bit, which is a very, very scary thought in my brain. I'll say that.
Yeah, and the scary thing is, like, last time I did the show with Zach, Zach, how long has it been? Like a week, 2 weeks ago? Like you literally asked me, are you worried about the goaltending? And I told you that's the last thing I'm worried about. Like the depth is there. Depth is there. And sure enough, like
from the show.
Yeah, sure enough, man, like I lost some more of this, man. I was terrified to see him. If anything happens to Joseph Woll, we're in a boatload of trouble. And kudos to him. We've seen guys like Mrazek in the crease before. We see Samsonov anytime and Nick, you talk about it all the time. Anytime there's a little tweak, these goalies run to the bench. They're like, nope, I'm not risking anything here. They head to the hills. But I feel like he had something to prove. I feel like he purposely battled through it. I feel like any other situation, if Stolarz is there, we probably see Stolarz in the third period. But yeah, kudos to Woll for hanging
Vic,
in there.
I mean, to your point, I think all three of us would agree there is a moment where we start to think about like Thursday morning for the morning skate, and there's no Joseph Woll to be found. Like that's just in the back of my mind. I'm sorry, we're just conditioned to feel that way. But I wanted to give him props. Like I put that in my notes prior to coming on here. I wanted to give him props for battling through. As mentioned, you're not going to feel great every day. It felt like he tweaked something. It looked like he tweaked something. They showed 17 fucking replays, and finally they stopped showing them. So I was happy about that, Zach.
I mean, I didn't see it. So
Get to the super chat, okay? Get to the super chat. That is your role in this show, okay,
yeah,
Zach?
there's 2 super chats here. Let's play the animation. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sounds good. Super chats here. Okay, the longest super chat animation of all time.
We need to fix that.
Yeah. First one, Jose Duarte, super chat. Thank you, Jose. You just said nice win. Thanks for the super chat there, Jose. The other one, the big one here. The big one here. Tammy. Tammy fired off a super chat. It's nice to see Zack Phillips, the AI construct, show up for us. Sorry for being late, Tammy. Cheers to Leafs Nation and to 2025, though. And then a cheers. And gentlemen, there's 2 emojis that follow. You know what they are?
I think I do.
What?
A cat and a fish.
Yeah, that would be right. Thank you.
We talked about unmaskings. You remember when they finally did it with Kane and WWE, and now we've done it with producer Vic. At the TLN Nation vacation, you have to show up in Nashville, Tennessee to see who the real Tammy is. Because again, Tammy, if you don't show up for the Nation vacation, I will ban you from this channel.
Yeah, your account's done. You're gone. Okay. We got a few more things to go through here on the show today, guys. I don't even know how long. I can't even. I'm not kidding you. The monitor's so far away. I can like basically just see Vic and Nick's faces, and like I can't see how long the show's been going. No idea. So you
whole lot of eyebrows. A lot of
eyebrows, Zach. Let me go through my notes, and we'll pick apart some notes from there. Again, as mentioned, I thought it was a low event type game. The thing that really stuck out for me, which has been seldom, few and far between in recent memory for this Leafs squad, is like depth scoring. When you can get David Kampf chipping in, that was a great play from Willie Nylander behind the net to feed Kampf, kicks off the scoring. And then Steven Lorentz going all like Connor McDavid was nasty to me. I think that, Vic, that was a huge response considering the Islanders had just tied it up. I think it was like 16 seconds later, Lorentz scores that goal. But did you guys see my tweet moments after that goal goes in?
I did not. What did you say?
I ignited Habs Nation. I said it is New Year's Eve, and Steven Lorentz and Juraj Slafkovsky have the same number of goals. Send tweets.
How's that going
later? Not very well in La Belle Province, I'll tell you that. But fuck all of you.
Facts are facts. Facts are facts. That's honestly the first time I've seen Steven Lorentz since game 3. We were so excited about Steven Lorentz. I don't want to bash
Yeah,
the
he
guy.
started so
This
hot.
isn't a this. He started so hot. He was hitting everything. He was, oh, I'm a hometown kid. I'm doing everything in my power. I love being a Leaf. I love being in a Leaf jersey. And again, I don't want to bash the guy. He's a fourth liner. He plays like 8 minutes a night. But again, I haven't seen him since like game 3. So good to get him in there. And Nick, you buried the lead there, man. Revo primary assist. Revo's back.
I can't believe we're entering 2025 and nearly 40 regular season games in. We have yet to see a Ryan Reeves scrap. But my mistake for burying the lead. You got to hold up a bit on Steven Lorentz, okay? He is not paid. He is not here to provide offense. I think he's a very reliable player.
Offense, Nick. I wasn't looking for offense. I'm not looking for offense. I haven't seen him hit anybody.
Dude,
he's
I'm
not
just watching
there.
his goal now.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think he's a reliable player. Like I can't gauge
agree.
these type of players and judge these guys on their offense. Yeah, in a perfect world, you'd love to see it. That's why we're highlighting the fact that David Camp has 2 goals in 3 games, and certainly will take that. But I think in my laundry list of like names that I would call out, Steven Lorentz would be that guy. Not to pick you apart there, producer.
The guy that I've been absolutely harping on has, as Rosie called him, Pontus, who did not play.
Yeah,
tonight.
Pontus. He didn't play in this game. I really noticed that Oliver Ekman-Larsson didn't play today. By the way, he didn't play due to the flu. But I thought obviously the rest of the decor picked them up big time, missing this game. Chris Tanev, it seems like every third game, guys, he takes a puck in the face. But you know right away, like he goes down that tunnel, more times than not, he comes back. And there's like the infamous video on social media today. I think it's gum. I think it's gum coming out of his mouth, right, Vic?
Yeah, it looked like gum for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy's an absolute warrior, boys.
And,
I can't say enough good things about Chris Tanev. I can't say enough good things about the job Brad Treliving did. I think bringing some legitimacy to the blue line, like even guys like Timmins, a patchwork guy, a Philippe Myers, like they found a way to be much better defensively. And I think that was also a major takeaway is like, I think they limited the Islanders to the outside. I think maybe they had a couple of marquee opportunities. 2 great breakaways from Brock Nelson come to mind. Obviously a big moment in the game was like the 2 reviews, right? The goalie interference call. It was only fitting. We talked about this on Leafs Morning Take. There's a bit of a slump here for Matthew Knies, and we knew the goal was coming. It happens, and it's unfortunate it comes back. But you can say the same about Adam Pelech, who scores the goal for the Islanders, comes back on the offside. I think it was like his first in 46. And we'll save that conversation about video review for another day. But
yo, Nick, hold on. Was that Knies' goal on the power play? Please don't tell me it was.
No.
Thank God. Okay.
No.
I
won't
gave
even.
Power play point. That was
My mistake. My mistake.
That's
shambles. There's a couple things we don't talk about on this platform anymore. It's the Leafs power play and it's Joseph Woll groin injuries. I just won't get to that level. Maybe it's New Year's resolution for yours truly that I'll talk about everything. I'll break everything down once again, but I can't get to that level. Vic, if you have further thought on the Maple Leafs power play, like I tweeted this out, I'm at a level where I'm okay with deploying Ryan Reeves out there. Like fuck it. Like they're so bad.
So bad.
I'm already preparing myself talking in plural. I'm already preparing myself, guys, for the playoffs when the Leafs lose a marquee playoff game because they can't score power play goal.
Okay.
It's dreadful.
Nick, I'm gonna ask you this. I don't think I asked you this previously, but I know like we've joked about it, and now I'm actually starting to take it a little bit more seriously. In football, it's common practice like, oh, your offense stunk, fire the offensive coordinator. Your defense stunk, fire the defensive coordinator. You'll do it 4, 5, 6 games into a season. Like these guys pull the trigger like that. Could we be seeing a situation where it's like, man, our power play fucking stinks, get this guy out of here? Like there's a guy running the power play. I know that it's more on the players who are there, but like, this is pretty embarrassing. This is game 38 we're talking about right now, and we're like, oh, the power play stinks. And then at the beginning of the season, it was like 7, 8, 9 games, and we're like, power play stinks. Oh, it'll get better. Well, we're halfway through. It hasn't got better.
There's a better chance of producer Vic showing up for our show on Thursday with a full head of hair, man. I'll tell you right now. And he can't even get the turkey in that time. Dude, Craig Berube handpicked Mark Savard for this job. There's a reason why those rumors came out as soon as Berube was hired. They're boys from back in St. Louis. And we said it at the time, okay? We came on these airwaves. We said the Calgary power play stunk. In garbage time, late in the season, that's when
They
they
did.
scored their goals. When the games didn't matter, there was no pressure, and still the Leafs bought into the hype of Mark Savard. I mean, dating back to his days in the Ontario Hockey League with Windsor, a team that finished first overall, I believe, in the standings, then got swept in the first round of the playoffs. Again, I can't blame the coaches. I was left wondering during this game what the coaching staff does. Like, I know Lane Lambert is a big part of the PK, and they've been incredible. Mark Savard, big on face-off plays. Obviously big on the power play, video review, coordinating that. But I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, and it's going to be up to these guys once again when Matthews comes back to figure this thing out, and it's going to be a storyline until they do, boys.
Yeah.
Full on Nick special for me. Sorry, my fire alarm's going off in here. Thanks a lot, Nick. This is the Nick curse. But yeah, I mean, at this point, what do you even do? Like, what do you do? I don't really even love Willie playing the full 2 minutes anymore. Like, he just kind of dances around. He's just by himself on that second unit. And the absence of a point shot is really, really clear every time they're out there. There's no threat at the blue line there at all. And Morgan Rielly hasn't scored since November 5th. And it's been 24 games, guys.
Yeah.
24 games. No goals from the D in the month of December. What is going on? I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if they bring in a power play quarterback, because I don't know if that's what necessarily this team needs. I like the top four, but at the same time, I feel like Rielly's gripping it or something. He needs somebody stable that he can play with and unlock his offensive game. I don't even know what the answer is anymore.
He is pretty much Mitch Marner on the back end, where it's like not a chirp. Like he is pass first.
Yeah.
They need a shot heavy guy who's thinking shot. Like we saw Jacob Chicken the other night for Washington. That was 11 goals in the season. He scored today against the Boston Bruins. Every time Rielly gets the puck and a premium opportunity to score, he defers and looks to pass. And you could say the same thing about Mitch Marner when he's not trigger happy. We saw that against Detroit on Friday. But this is a really, really big story, again, because Morgan Rielly is running the first power play unit, again, because he's not producing, again, because he makes $7.5 million per season. And he hasn't been good. He hasn't even been like a top 3 defenseman for this team this year. And I think as the season progresses, this story is going to get louder and louder. They need to find a partner for Morgan Rielly. Guys, like Zack, how often have we talked about that in the last 3, 4, 5 years in this market? Are they going to find a partner? At which point has Morgan Rielly become the problem is my question.
Yes, I know. That's something I was talking about the other day. It got prompted actually by your tweet, Nick, on Saturday. I think it was. You're like, well, we need a goal from the defenseman. It's like, how many times do we harp on we need depth scoring? Okay, now you're going to get contributions from Nick Robertson, Max Domi, Bobby McMahon. That's great. You get a goal here tonight from Steven Lorentz. You got one from David Kampf, who, mind you, was playing on the second line, but he scored nonetheless. And it's like, okay, now those guys are chipping in. And the thing people need to realize is that they're not going to score every fucking game. Like, they're playing on a third line for a reason. If they scored every game, they wouldn't be playing on the third line. But now they're chipping in. The other piece of this where it starts to actually build out and actually be completed is the defenseman chipping in and scoring. And you've got enough there with these guys who are capable of doing so, like Ekman Larsson. He's very capable of scoring. Morgan Rielly, the issue that it came from here and where I'm going with this, Nick, is he's $7.5 million. If he just blends in, which he's doing for the most part, that's fine. At $3 million, not 7.5, because at that point, you're the most expensive defenseman on this team. You're the longest standing defenseman on this team. You're the face of the back end there. And for the first time in your entire career now, you've been alleviated of the duties of carrying everybody, and yet for some unknown reason, you're still not able to figure it out with these guys that are here. And it's kind of getting to like a point of frustration. Like, I don't want to have to go at the deadline every single year and pay a premium on Luke Schenz and Ron Hainsey, et cetera, because the guy who's making $7.5 million fucking dollars needs help. Like, why does he need the crutch?
Yeah, it really is a remarkable stat. Like, it's crazy to think I went to Tampa Bay for like American Thanksgiving. And that's the last time a Leafs defenseman scored a goal, and it was Chris Tanev out of all defenders. Like, when you think about that, like, they played, 15 games in the month of December. They did not get one goal. from the blue line. And I think you're so right, because I think Morgan Rielly is not known for his defensive acumen. All three of us can agree on that front. Like, he's not known for his defensive prowess. You're paying the guy to be an offensive dynamo. And I think we've seen some severe regression pretty much ever since he signed that contract. I think he had a moment post-contract signing for like a couple months where he was unbelievable. Then that playoff run, I thought he was really, really good. But you're so right. Like, he just blends in. And it really is scary as we go down the stretch here in the second half of the season, entering the postseason, where your highest paid defenseman is played like your number 4 defenseman, Vick.
Yeah, and it reminds me a little bit of the conversation where who's going to play with Matthews and Marner? Oh, they need someone to go get the puck for them. And it's like, they make $22 friggin' million. So why do they need someone to go get the puck for them? They should be carrying the line on their own. So with Morgan Rielly, he's always played best with these defensive juggernauts, guys he can trust and whatever. But at the same time, like, figure it out, man. Figure it out. We saw Morgan Rielly has a 20-goal season under his belt. How the hell did that happen? How? Where, like, did I imagine that? Was it like, what's going on here? How does he need somebody to carry him? How? And
well, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, much similar, I think, to like Mitch Marner, again, not to draw the comparable, but like they need him to shoot the puck on the power play. Again, until we're blue in the face, nobody seems to be able to figure this thing out. But Morgan Rielly actually has a deceptively good shot. Like, we talk about that with Mitch Marner. Rielly can shoot the puck. I've seen him snipe before. Like, he doesn't take slap shots, which kind of sucks. You need that on a power play.
Yeah.
But he's got a pretty good shot. And that's the one thing I would try to instill if I'm the coaching staff. Shoot the puck, Morgan. Like, have confidence in your shot. And, you know, there's amazing skill makers and playmakers all around him. Nylander, you know, Matthews when healthy, Tavares, Marner. They put it on a platter, and like, he passes up a great opportunity. So like, that's simplifying the game, I think, is the big way I would sort of phrase what I want to see from Morgan Rielly going forward offensively.
Going bigger picture too on that one, that's kind of how they all are on that power play, right?
Yeah,
they all
passive.
Love to defer. Everyone wants to go on the outside, make the perfect pass, the perfect play. It's like, sometimes just shoot it, put it on net.
Yeah.
Like,
how long have you heard it? Like, everybody since I can remember, since I was 2 years old, everybody always says, when it's not going well, put it on net, get traffic in front, put it on net, get traffic in front. It's the first period intermission. It's the first intermission interview with the guy. Oh, you couldn't beat so-and-so. Well, we just need to get traffic in front and put pucks on net and blah, blah, blah. But they don't do that. They don't do that. The power play stinks. And it sucks because we're talking about the defense scoring, but I've never been happier with the D-core as a whole than I am this year. So it's kind of a catch-22 here. Like, I looked at the lines for the D pairs for Game 7 against Boston, and it was Rielly Lyubushkin, Benoit McCabe, and Edmondson Liljegren. And like, what a friggin' jump we've taken. So it sucks that we're kind of knocking the D for not scoring here as my fire alarm goes off. So I'm going to let you follow up here, Nikki. But like, we've come a long way, but yeah, we need some offense a little bit at least.
It is a Nick Alberga curse to have the fire alarm go off during a show, nevertheless, on New Year's Eve. But if you're just tuning in right now, the Maple Leafs winning 3-1 here on New Year's Eve, finishing off the month of December 9-6, and of course, 2024. So on to January we go. Another date with the New York Islanders coming up on Thursday. Should mention as well, if you're watching right now for the first time and are not subscribed, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Hit that subscribe button at the Leafs Nation 401. And we're also available in podcast form. Just search the Leafs Nation After Dark. Of course, Zack doing a great job all season long. Zack, let me paint a picture for you. You've obviously played the highest level of hockey of the three here on this podcast.
I play Pell all the time. I don't know.
There you go. Well, that's not close enough. So the Toronto Maple Leafs up 2-1, 45 seconds. Max Pacioretty, yeoman's work drawing a penalty. So the Islanders pull their goalie with a D-zone draw. So to make it 5-on-5. And what happens? John Tavares, 19th of the season, empty netter. Patrick Waugh is one interesting dude, but I can't say I've ever seen that watching the sport.
Yeah, dude, no. I thought you were joking at first.
No,
in the D zone. Okay, wait. So D zone, they're short a man. They
and they
I've
pull their
never seen
goalie.
that. I've never heard of that. Nothing. That's the first time I've ever heard of that. I wish I could speak to it more, just based on watching it in this game. Never seen it before. That's nuts.
They didn't even
You
get
have
out of
to
their
win
own
the draw.
zone.
Who'd they put out there? Like, what was the face-off situation? Like, you're not putting a guy out there that's 100% guarantee you need to win that draw. You even scrumble fuck it. Like, it's probably in the back of your net.
And we got
And
John Tavares on our side.
Yeah.
I guess the defense was that they had like 45 seconds, so it was all about puck possession. But I can't say I've ever seen that. But again, this is a head coach who pulls his goalie routinely down like 5-6-1. So you just never know. And especially when you get that ISO shot of Patty Waugh and he's like red in the face. It's like, man, this is that Detroit game all over again where he puts his hands up and get me the fuck out of Montreal and then goes and win a cup. That's how I feel. Like, I think, everybody's talking about Broadway and the New York Rangers. Something's got to give here with Lou Lamoriello and Patrick Waugh. I'm just going to put it out there, boys.
It will.
He's the originator of that, pulling the goalie with 5 minutes left and stuff. And
yeah.
Also, you know what? One thing I'll jump in here. I talked to somebody who works at Hockey Canada. They did a study. This is not actually from this weekend. I'm not like saying that. I've talked before. They did a study on how long it takes on average with the goalie pulled to be able to score a goal. It's like it's technically supposed to be like over a long period of time, a big sample size, like 5 minutes per goal. So that's the extreme end of things, and you're obviously hoping to condense it down. But that's why when you're down like 2-3, you'll see them pull them like way earlier now, which, I mean, I guess makes sense, but it's also like you get one goal and it's sheets, like game's over.
My vision is like they got a pack of nerds, probably have zinners in their mouth, just trying to attack this, but it's... So Brett's asking for Zack, by the way. Brett Longfield, who I got to subscribe finally to this podcast. Nick's a spaz. Just give us a Zack. So Zack, take it away. Break down the game you didn't watch.
Dude,
why don't we talk next, boys, about so we did sort of bury the lead because I think there was marginal concern, we'll call it, from Leafs Nation when they showed the replays. What was it, early in the second period? Joseph Woll, they're like, oh, the groin, and he's like very timid getting up, and it's like, fuck, here we go again. But we did give him credit earlier on. He hung in the game. But Vic, what was your initial reaction when you saw Joseph Woll get up gingerly the way he did early in the second period?
Honestly, like, just complete terror. Like, it was absolutely terrifying. I thought I had faith in Murray and Hildeby, but I mean, I guess I was lying to myself because when I saw that, when he was hobbling there, I've never been more scared of anything in my life. The Toronto Maple Leafs are currently first place in the Atlantic Division. And I know, Nick, you don't care about that very much. I know because we've seen it. We've seen them lose to Montreal. We've seen them lose to Columbus.
Yeah.
I know they were technically the underdog in the Boston series, but I think they were the better team than Boston. We saw them lose to Boston as well. Yeah. They couldn't score, so on and so on and so on. But it's very important to me that they put themselves in the best position to succeed. I don't want Tampa in the first round. I don't want Florida in the first round. Give me Ottawa. Give me, I don't know who else is in there.
Don't ask for that shit.
How? They own the Leafs. They own the Leafs.
They always own the Leafs. Look at the playoffs. They've always owned the Leafs. Those playoff years, they were like always. We don't have to worry about Ottawa. Give me the best matchup possible. Honestly, just give me the worst team possible. I've seen it. Nick, you're absolutely right. But put yourself in the best position.
Columbus.
Get the best matchup. Yes, but get the best matchup. Would you rather play Ottawa tomorrow or Florida tomorrow? It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Slay the dragon.
No,
dude,
no,
it's a big fucking dragon. Okay, I spent my birthday in August watching the fucking Maple Leafs lose to the goddamn Columbus Blue Jackets. Okay,
correct.
I don't care who they play. I just know in 40 some odd games from now, we're finally going to get our answer. Can the Big Four? Can these guys actually do something with a new coach? Like, they're out of excuses. Okay. I know we're tired of playing this game, but like, ultimately, and I love Leafs Nation for this, every game, win or loss, it's like, holy shit, the sky's falling. Like, it's not it's falling. They're going to the playoffs, and now we're going to figure out if these guys can hack it.
Okay,
and
ready, Nick?
Not to foreshadow, Rosie and I are going to do some Leafs-related New Year's resolutions coming up on Thursday edition Leafs Morning Take. One of my resolutions, don't be stupid. With that in mind, There is no need to re-sign John Tavares right now. There's no need to re-sign Mitch Marner.
What did I do?
Just wait. No, dude, I'm just breaking it down. I'm simplifying the game for you.
I know.
Okay? These games do not matter, boys. Just wait until the fucking spring, and we'll find out if this team's legit. Okay?
I was gonna do the stupid thing and like the big picture thing. I was gonna interject you, Nick. You know what happens when they lose? I shouldn't have said that. If they lose in the first round, run it back.
Oh, of course.
Look,
dude, I'm already prepared. I'm prepared.
Guys,
they're gonna bring in some new complimentary pieces. They're gonna find a new Phil Myers.
Nick,
yeah,
the excuse is already ready if they lose Florida. The excuse is there. You lost to the Cup champion. You lost to the. If they lose to Ottawa, there is no excuse for that. There is zero excuse for that. So you don't have that. So that's why. That's another reason why you want to get in that 1 seed, because then you see if this team is actually gripping it or if they're getting beat by better teams. Because look, we saw it in Montreal, and I agree with you 100%. We should have seen changes after that Montreal series. We didn't. We're here now. So if you want to see changes, you want this Leaf team to win the Atlantic, because then you can clearly see there will be a big, large gap in the opponent. And then that's when there's no more excuses. And that's when you make changes.
Look, I won't lie. I still have PTSD from that Montreal series as well. And it wasn't because of what happened on the ice. I got death threats via Facebook. People still using fucking Facebook, Meta, whatever you call it. This guy threatened to come to my house because all I said was like, these guys are chokers, which they did choke a 3-1 lead. I just, again, for those of you who've been listening and watching me for years, cover the Toronto Maple Leafs, I feel like I'm a realist. Sometimes not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. Another thing I'll throw at you right now. Legitimately, 7-game series starts tomorrow. Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs. How comfortable do you feel that the Leafs would win that series?
Not at all.
Not at all.
So that's
why I want Ottawa.
Yeah, well, it's the right answer. But if people accuse me of being a Leafs hater, I'm just like, they need to make some tweaks between now and the deadline. We got to figure a couple things out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. One injury and David Kampf's on your second line. That you need some serious freaking work here, guys.
Yeah.
David Kampf is not a second line player. You need some work up the middle, definitely.
Yeah.
But also, though, like, seriously answer, because maybe your answers are different. Like Nick, start with you. Leafs play Ottawa first round, starting tomorrow. How confident do you feel that they win that series?
I feel good because the Sens are chokers, right? They've
I guess.
They got a guy. I love Linus Salmark. He's our boy. The guy, he's allergic to the crease. I'm sorry to say it. Like half these goalies, I tell Huts all the time, we need a fucking summit for these guys, man. I don't know what it is, and people are gonna come at me with this and that. I grew up in an era. I'm 35 years old. I grew up in an era with Marty Brodeur. He was always out there. Game. The best position in hockey was backing up Marty Brodeur or Mika Kiprasov, because you got to hack a bunch of darts, party with a team. You were in the National League, but you played 7 times a year. Now it's like I hold my breath, and everybody knows I watch a shit ton of hockey, whether it's a game in San Jose on a Tuesday night or a Maple Leafs game. I have no clue if the starting goalie is going to come out for the game, regardless of who it is. It's concerning to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Vic.
I just have a slightly different answer. I'm super confident because the Leafs are better than the Sens. It has nothing to do with Allmark, or it has nothing to do with the Leafs are just top to bottom a better team than the Ottawa Senators, and I don't think they could match the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I have confidence.
He's got passion.
I have the passion. I have confidence in that. Maybe it's the 3-1 win. Maybe it's the booze I had. I don't know what it is, but I genuinely believe they're in different leagues. They're in different leagues. I want the easy matchup in round 1, and that way we know for sure.
I get it. My point is not that I think that they would lose. It's just that I don't wake up tomorrow morning and go, we're going to dummy them and we're going to win this series. Because I know they're better. I know that they should win. I know they have the better, goaltending if everybody's healthy, or defense and star talent, but probably potentially coaching. But it is the Maple Leafs, and I still have PTSD to the same series, Nick, of which put me on the map of some angry security guards who are still following me around to this day. But yeah,
guys, we're getting accused of being too negative. So the Maple Leafs win 3-1 in this game. We did shout out David Kampf. Matthew Knies has been getting some heat the last couple of days. I thought he was really good. I think it's inevitable. Obviously, he's going to get on the board. I could see it on Thursday. Like, he scores in this game. It was called back for goalie interference on Willie Nylander, probably the right call. But I thought Knies was all over the ice in this game, Vic. And I love seeing a response in general by any player, never mind a young player who I think firmly heard the messaging from his head coach, Craig Berube, in the media. And I thought Knies is all over the ice in this game.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's still loose. He's still loose. In the media, they asked him about it. He's like, it's about time. Sidney Crosby always said that when he's slumping, he wanted the media to ask him about it. And then he'd score the next game. And Matthew Knies actually brought that up in his scrum. He's like, finally, you guys asked me about it. I'm going to break out now. And he did. I thought he did. I didn't love the call, Nick. I didn't love the goalie interference call. I felt Willie was pushed in a little bit. I know he didn't try his best to get out of there, but Romanov drove him in. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Again, Homer talk. If it was the other way around, I'd probably say the other way. But yeah, I mean, he was flying all game. He really showed up in the second period there. He had a couple chances. He had a tip and then that 3 shot back to back when he scored. He was flying. It's only a matter of time. I might hit that ATG on Thursday as well.
Okay. Producer Vic at the Leafs Nation 401, where you could chime in via YouTube here in the chat. Mario Villella, love this because he's Italian. Producer Vic, what's your take on the center position? You got questions coming in the chat, Producer Vic.
I think the center position needs a lot of work. We've heard some reports that the Leafs are looking for someone with term, though, so that knocks Brock Nelson out, which, I mean, just from watching him play, I think since they named the Four Nations roster when he was listed on there, I don't think he has a goal in 13 games. So he's been invisible. It's kind of scaring me away from Brock Nelson. He was my number 1 target. Yanni Gourde also has no term, so it doesn't sound like they're looking into him. But I do think they need help. What I'm wondering, though, is if they're looking for a 2C, does that mean they're moving John Tavares down to 3C, or does that mean they're moving John Tavares to the wing, which we've been waiting for I'd say maybe the past 5 years? I don't think so either, and I don't think they should. He's been really, really good this season.
Guys, I love our chat. I guess I had some mic issues. Folks in the chat, can you tell me if my mic is better now? I don't know. This is an absolute shit.
Your mic is fine.
A lot of people in the chat were discussing the mic, so I've changed I've changed the input. I think I'm feeling good. This has been an ongoing issue with this fucking platform. But anyways, so the Leafs win 3-1. We're feeling positive, boys. 2024. What a year. Zach, how's your time going at the World Juniors, by the way? Need a big effort from Easton Cowan tonight, don't we?
It's pretty cool, actually. We're here at the Fan Fest, which you guys can kind of see. I don't know, it's kind of dark behind me, just the way the lighting is. But, like, there's a massive screen over here, 2 of them, and, like, a big stage. They're playing the games. You could probably hear the broadcast in the background right now. There's also... It just cleared up, but right behind me, there was like a massive line of people who are going to get their own custom hockey cards right now. And these people are all poking in like, what is this fucking idiot doing right now? Like they were watching Merrick earlier today, and now it's the guy who's sitting behind the table who's like on this side with lights and stuff on him. They're like, what the hell is going on? Otherwise, pretty fun. This is the first like media event that I've ever like being a part of, or in terms of like going to events and for like games and stuff, so it's cool.
Zach, I have one quick question for you. What was the vibe after the Latvia game?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I was doing the Leafs Nation After Dark in my hotel room.
We need another one of Zack Phillips. You got like a stunt double we can use too?
Yeah, it's you and Vick. That's why you guys are here right now.
I wish I was 25 again.
No, I don't know. It was. I will say that seeing some of the media the next day, because I went to the Latvia US game. It was. It's a very interesting outlook, because I'm sure you guys see it. Those in the chat see it as well. Every year, what happens with Canada, US? Oh, you should have brought this player. Why didn't they bring that player? Why didn't they bring that player? This feels like the first year where it's like extremely justified. You know, why was Yakimchuk and Misa and et cetera, left off this lineup? Like, there were some actual legit studs. Like, we're not going to do, like, a World J's, like, full breakdown, but, like, you're looking at the minutes played after, and it's like, oh, Dave Cameron's guy from the Ottawa 67s played 14 minutes, and a guy who scored 70 goals in the OHL last year played 6. It's like, okay, well, you know, what are we doing? So the vibe is weird. It's really, really tense going into this game, and it was tense after I left the Germany game, because like they won 3-0. The second goal was scored banking it off the end boards, off the goalie's leg and in the net. Like, that game was not a 3-0 game, and it was 3-0, which you'd think it was going to be a blowout. So it's a weird vibe right now. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they
I'm
can't
gonna
score.
I'm gonna stick with my my ticket, pre-tournament ticket. It was plus 125, 125 for Team Canada to win this tournament. Stranger things have happened, but yeah, watching that game against Latvia, I'm like, crap, it's crazy. The other
Yeah.
tangent I want to go on: why do the same people get hired for coaching jobs
It's just-
over and over and over? Not to defend one of my boys coaches in the OHL. He's an unbelievable coach. He has churned so many NHL defensemen, can't get an opportunity because people are getting fourth and fifth and sixth job. Like, it's,
Yeah.
again, like, I love Todd McClellan, but what has he won? He's got
Yeah.
a coaching job now with Detroit. Like, it's, and I, you know, you guys know I don't watch football, but I feel like the NFL in general does a pretty good job of promoting their assistants. We rarely see that in the NHL. It's the same recycled guys over and over and over. I just want to get that off my chest. I don't think Dave Cameron's a bad coach, but like, how about some new blood sometimes?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And one guy I would have liked to see instead of him is Q, but we'll get there when we get there. But yeah,
It's
you're
gonna
absolutely right. And again, I know you said you don't watch the NFL, but again, there's a bunch of college coaches that come in, and when they come in, they have different styles, they have different offenses, and then these NFL coaches that have been there for a long time, they adapt to those guys, which is crazy because the game in the NFL has changed so much because there's so much new blood coming in that people are copying each other. It's copycat leagues everywhere. So it would be nice to see some of that in the NHL. But again, now we're going backwards. You're going to a guy that plays the 1-3-1 in Detroit, and now we're in a slow down offense, which is what we've been clamoring for and dying for. We want more offense, more offense, more offense. And then you keep hiring these guys that are so old school, play the trap, play the trap, play the trap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I wanted to go off a bit there. Go ahead, Zach.
No, you're good, Nick. Go.
I wanted to ask you, and maybe we can throw it around the table, like Easton Cowan, second straight World Junior. I think he's been okay. We know what happened last year in the Mem Cup. We know what happened in the World Junior. Has your opinion swayed a bit, mentality changed a bit when it comes to Easton Cowan, Zach?
Yeah, you're gonna get me to piss off the chat here, but yes. Like, I'm not gonna say like this is not gonna work out or whatever, but I think people might need to temper their expectations. He's got a deceptive shot, but he's not beating goalies from long distance. Like, the whole Matthews comparison of his shot and the release and everything like that. Like, yeah, he can do that from the top of the circles down when he's kind of breaking in on a guy and do that. But I don't know. Maybe he's just being miscast here on this Canada team. Like, we've talked about the coaching decisions that are going on from Dave Cameron. So maybe I need to kind of turn back the dial and say that might be a factor here. But it has. I thought that this was going to be a guy who was going to have, like, takeover factor. I watched the Americans. I watched some of those guys, Ryan Leonard, Gabe Perreault, like those. They have, like, that breakaway factor where it's just, like, on any given moment they can kind of take over. Even Gavin McKenna, the 17-year-old, like, yeah, he's being held back a little bit here in terms of scoring, but you can see it in his game. Not really had those moments with Easton Cowan. One thing, and I want to know what you guys think about this, but the last game I watched, and it happened in Latvia game, and it happened in the Finland game, and this is going to scare the shit out of Leafs fans. You know what he does a lot? Get pushed off the puck. He gets hit, and he gets pushed off the puck. Now, he's growing, he's a kid, physical maturity can come, but that's not what you want to be seeing as a Leafs fan who's, like, watching this team being like, let's get bigger, stronger, tougher, harder to play against. Oh, here's our up-and-coming, disgusting prospect lighting up the OHL. He goes to the international stage, and he gets bullied. It's like, fuck.
The thing I noticed too, boys, is like he doesn't really play that linear game. Like, it really feels like puck possession is a big thing for Easton Cowan, and I think, you know, every young player is guilty of it. Sometimes you hold on to the puck a couple of seconds too long, or you should have changed, but you don't. You're out there fatigued, and that's when your brain gets a little foggy and you make a mistake. But I've noticed that a couple times throughout the first couple games here of the World Junior, where it's like he had an opportunity to get the puck in deep, get off the ice, but he holds on to it, gives the puck away. The opposition comes back on like a 3-on-2 rush, and it's going to happen. But I think we're learning really, really quickly. If you don't play that linear style, that grinding style, you're not really going to have success under Craig Berube. But I think the most positive thing that I probably could have grabbed out of our interview a couple of weeks ago with Easton Cowan on Leafs Morning Take with me and Rosie was the remembrance that, of course, Dale Hunter is really good friends with Craig Berube dating back to their time in Washington, right? So the fact that they talk quite frequently and they're really good friends, I think will only help in the development of Easton Cowan. But I always have to temper my expectations with any Maple Leafs prospects. And like, as soon as it got really, really loud there in the summer leading into this season, it really, remember when Nick Robertson, like he was doing his thing in the OHL and he was scoring and he was going nuts. Like, I obviously think there's a higher ceiling for an Easton Cowan, but I will temper my expectations. Like, I do think there's a scenario, Vic, where we enter next season and they play the long game with Easton Cowan. That means giving him some seasoning at the AHL level. I've got no issue with that. I actually like the way they're handling Fraser Minton right now.
Me too. And I think it's perfect for him. And Zach, you mentioned him getting knocked off the puck. I think that's one of the things, I'm remembering back to training camp, and Craig Berube purposely had Easton Cowan go against Chris Tanev in one-on-one drills.
Yeah.
And he lost every single one. And honestly, that scares me a little bit, obviously. But at the same time, I watched that Latvia game. I'm going to take this give this a little positive spin. I think the one thing that gives me some hope is that he wanted the puck on his stick. And maybe to a detriment of Team Canada, to be honest with you, because he was not passing the puck and he wanted to be the guy that put the team on his back and scored that goal and Sellied in Ottawa at center ice. He wanted that. He wanted that. He held onto that puck. He was going through his legs. He was trying everything to do to get to the front of the net. He's too small to do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't power his way through, but he wanted the puck on his stick. And that's what I like to see, because a lot of guys on the Leafs in the playoffs especially look like they don't want the puck on their stick.
The other thing I will just say here to add to it, because I did kind of come across a little harsh on Cowan there maybe, he's not afraid and he's got an edge to him. He's in every scrum. He goes after guys he is involved. I'm not trying to like rip on the guy. I'm just kind of telling people what I'm seeing here right now. He is involved in that, which is a nice thing to see. The other thing, to both of your points about like seasoning these guys and letting them go there, you know what can happen on the flip side if you don't give them that opportunity to grow and adapt to the pro game? You get guys like what happens with the Buffalo Sabres. And these kids just get forced into your lineup. Now all of a sudden it's questions, are they a bust? Is this going to work? Do they need a new spot? Do you need to trade this guy? And then Buddy goes to a different team and wins a fucking Stanley Cup. Like,
Merrick says it all the time, right? Merrick says it all the time, right? I never heard anybody get hurt by playing more AHL games. I've never seen anyone be hurt by that. It's never ruined anybody's career playing more AHL games.
Yeah.
And like getting more used to the physicality, playing against men, it's a big thing. And it's like getting used to that is a good thing all the time.
Okay, boys, let's start to wrap this up. We got a couple things to do on the show to close this one out. I'm going to really lean on you because I, as we've mentioned, did not watch the game. So, again, to the chat, and those of you watching right now, wanted to make sure we got a show out. Apologies. This is kind of a one-time thing. I did not watch it, but really appreciate Nick and Vic for hopping on here to actually help provide some insight as to what went on in the game. We will be more prepared moving forward on my behalf. The other thing, we've got almost like 200 people watching right now. Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe here to the channel, Leafs Nation 401. Anything that hits 50, 100 likes or whatever today, after whatever you want to call this, I will carry over to the next stream on Thursday and do the smelling salts then. So we can start the show with like 4 consecutive smelling salts if you guys want. Let's get to some of our segments here to close things out. First would be our best bet segment, brought to you by Bet365. Open an account, Bet365 today, and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. That's code NATION, all caps, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Boys, I will just start with this, and I'll tell you, because I have no idea what went on. The best bet that I gave out ahead of time was Matthew Knies power play point plus 625. at Bet365. It was best price in market. I thought that he was going to be a guy who was going to be really motivated here tonight. He's obviously playing on that first unit, getting net front, and some of the things that he talked about in the media and what needs to happen for this power play kind of go hand in hand, in my opinion. That was the reasoning behind the bet. I was thinking, what is his game? How does he excel? And what does he need to do? He's got to be in front. He's got to be physical. He's got to be winning battles. He's got to be in the goalie's eyes, pissing people off. That might give you an opportunity to capitalize on the power play. Obviously doesn't happen here tonight because the power play itself, even around him, still kind of stinks. So we lose a quarter unit on that one. But that was the pregame bet. I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts or any bets that you had here tonight.
No, I thought it was a good look. Like, I expected a response from Matthew Knies, and we talked about it. He was all over the game, all over the ice in this one, right? I think he scores that goal. It's called back because of the Nylander goalie interference. So I think it was a smart look. I'm always... I rarely look at the Leafs power play for betting because they just, again, you just don't know what you're going to get.
I need to stop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, stop going to the power play. That's probably the biggest mistake you made. But I think Vick and I were both on the under in that game. So felt good about the 3-1 victory here, Vick.
I almost got the David Camp first goal, but I didn't end up betting. But he's got it in 2 of the last 3 games. First goal,
True.
David Camp.
Yeah. I like that.
I might hit that on Thursday. No, I probably won't.
That's a big story too, just to wrap. Is like the Leafs have scored first in 3 straight games, right? And I know Rosie brought it up quite a bit in December, how they always seem to be trailing. And it goes without saying, you start the game with a lead, you're probably feeling pretty good. And we talked about this the other day, 14-2-1, now 15-2-1 on the season when they score first. That's a pretty polarizing stat in my opinion.
And 16-1-1 when allowing 2 or less. Like,
there you go.
Just score a couple and sit back.
The magic number for the Leafs seems to be 3. When they score 3 goals, they win, boys.
Yep.
Okay, let's do quickly here. I'll get you guys rapid fire. We have to do play of the game and grade of the game. So let's start with play of the game. Nick, what was your play of the game here tonight?
Easy. Steven Lorentz, the response 16 seconds after the Pajot goal. He went full Connor McDavid and then goes shelf. And I love the celebration, too. Very beer league. So I give it to Steven Lorentz, Vic.
Mine was when Mitch Marner threw that open ice hit. Nick, do you remember that?
I don't.
No, Zach, I'm just messing with you. That obviously never happened.
I gotta find it.
I'm just fooling around with Zach here. Yeah, Lorentz, it's an easy one. No question about it.
Grade of the game, it's just alphabet, school grades. Nick, what do you got for today?
I will go with an A-. I think it's a tough game to play. New Year's on your mind. You want to get pinned. But you want to leave the rink with a good response after last time against the Islanders. So I'm gonna give them an A- because they got the job done without Austin Matthews, without OEL, and without Pontus Holmberg. So there you go.
Nick?
I'll go B+. I didn't like too much of the third period there, and the second period started off really bad. They got hemmed in a lot and got bailed out by an offside call. So I'll go B+. Generally good game. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Right. There you go. Looks like the chat's kind of coming in around the same area. B+. That range there as well. But I think that's it, boys. That'll do it for the show today. What is the record at now? I'm so unprepared. 3-1 victory against the New York Islanders. Nick, can you fill in the blanks for me?
Yeah, hold on here.
Sorry, thanks. I'm trying to help.
I never know if these apps update, but correct us if we're wrong. 23, 13, and 2 on the year. Is that right? Does that seem right?
52, 29, and 5 in 2024, guys.
There you go.
Wow.
How's that?
Boom.
There you go. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in here. We appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit that like button on your way out. I saw there we hit 50 likes, battling through in a show where I didn't even watch the game. Thank you to Nick and Vic for helping out here, filling in the blanks on what went on for Leafs Islanders game number 38 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season. That's it for me. Catch the boys Thursday morning. You're not back tomorrow, right? Thursday morning.
Back Thursday with Rosie.
11 a.m. Eastern time, right here on this channel. Subscribe, Leaf Station 401. Check them out on podcast, Leafs Morning Take, Leaf Station After Dark, wherever you find your podcast if you want to listen that way. Boys, thank you, as always, for doing this. I appreciate it. To all of you in the chat, Happy New Year. Stay safe. Enjoy. Get pinned, but do it responsibly. Nick, Vic, you guys as well. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back here on Thursday. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows,
Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.